Hello. Welcome to, I think it's episode 7 of the Lulabelle 8 knitting podcast. My name is Paula and I live in Edinburgh with my husband and cat, who I think you can got her head upside down at the minute, which means she's very relaxed. Well, actually she's always very relaxed. So episode 7, it's been ages since I last recorded, and I think it was December. I think there was a Christmas tree in the background of the last episode, and I just I haven't been knitting much, which is a bit odd for winter, but I kind of went off. I'm quite an episodic person, so I got interested in something else, and I kind of do that. I get really focused on whatever I'm interested in, and to the exclusion of quite often everything else. So I got very much into something else and had a lot of fun with that. And anyway, just the last few days I've kind of come back to knitting a bit, and I've done a few kind of small items. So today is not probably going to be very long, might just be half an hour. I have very few things to show. But anyway, I thought I would just come on and do it anyway, and partly the reason I want to do it is because I want to be able to wear the things that I have knitted. So today I'm wearing, so this is a Sophie Scarf, which I've shown before, and this is my, you can just see my, I don't know if you remember, I knitted a cable waistcoat from a pattern that my mother-in-law had, which I inherited when she died and that she'd knitted for me. So this is why I really love the kind of honey colour, and the cabling is just really lovely as well. So that's what I'm wearing today, and then just a kind of dress that I have knitted. Anyway, so the first thing that I want to show you is it's another Sophie Scarf. It's knitted in Drops Puna. I keep wanting to say Drops Puma, and it's not Puma, it's Drops Puna, which I think is alpaca. I've meant to bring the ball band through and I haven't. I think it's alpaca. I really can't remember. Anyway, so it's really, I won't put it on really because I've got one on already. So I just knitted it. I think the Sophie Scarf, it's knitted, so this is like double knitting wool, but I think I knitted it on, the scarf pattern calls for 3.25mm needles, and I think I just did it on that. So it turns out it's obviously a bit bigger than this one, but that's really nice actually. And even though it's a kind of charcoal colour, in certain light it has a kind of, try and get my face, anyway, it has a kind of almost like a brown hue. So yeah, I really like it. I've been wanting a kind of black or charcoal Sophie Scarf for a while. I'm actually trying to kind of get a Sophie Scarf in every colour so that I wear them all the time. I just kind of, when I'm heading out the door, I grab one, whichever one matches what I'm wearing that day. So yeah, now I've got, I want to knit a pure brown Sophie Scarf, and like that kind of chocolate brown that I really like, and I want to knit a pure blue Sophie Scarf, because I started knitting a blue Sophie Scarf but then ended up doing that 2 colour blue and yellow, which I like and do wear actually. So it's just really lovely, and actually knitting it a bit bigger, I think it works out probably, I always knit somewhere between the small and the large size on the Sophie Scarf, and it kind of works out as the kind of larger size because it's double knit wool. So yeah, it's really lovely. I really like it, and I've worn this quite a lot because it doesn't kind of get affected by being worn. So yeah, that's the Sophie Scarf. Next up, just wondering where to put it. So the next 2 items, like I say, everything is really small today because I haven't had the attention span to knit. So the next 2 items are Everyday Socks by Petite Knit. These are the yellow. I'll try and get my face out the way so it can focus. So red and yellow. I really love these colours together. I think I knitted these over Christmas so that because red always kind of is very Christmassy colour. So yeah, I think the yellow is the Lang Yawol 4-ply sock yarn, and the red is Drops Fable. So yeah, so I really love these. They're very cheerful, and I haven't worn them yet because I've been waiting to record, so that's partly why I want to record today. So they're just kind of, so the thing about, I like this kind of setup for a sock. So I think the pattern, is it striped? I can't remember. But anyway, in the pattern, you're meant to when you're doing the heel turn, knitting the heel, you kind of, to resolve the German short rows after the first set of shaping, you're meant to go round the whole of the foot with the yarn. But because I've got like a contrast heel, obviously I don't want one single stripe of yellow going round the whole sock, so I just resolve it by beginning the second part of the short row shaping and resolve it just by doing that. So I don't go all the way around, I just go back and forth until I've knitted the whole thing. And then at the end, because I am missing out one kind of line of the pattern, I kind of just have to go and sew up there's a tiny little hole just at the corner, so I just have to go and kind of weave in some ends to fill that hole. But I really like the having contrast colour in the cuff, the heel and the toe. I just think it's very jolly. There's something very kind of traditionally sockish about this colour construction. So yeah, so I really like them. I haven't worn them yet because I have been waiting to show, and yeah, I'll get to wear them now. So that's my red and yellow socks. And then I have blue and pink socks. Again, it's the everyday sock pattern. So for this one, because I would have preferred to have had a pink heel, but I thought when I'm wearing them I can't see the colour of the heel anyway, and I'll just kind of do that round to resolve that whole issue that I get at the corner. So I do think it loses something by not having the contrast heel. Anyway, I'd still like them, they're really great. And the pink and the blue are both knitted in Drops Fable, which is the sock yarn 4-ply. And yeah, so I literally just finished these. I'd knitted the first one a few weeks ago actually. Hadn't done any other knitting. Then I kind of picked them up again last weekend, and I kind of just finished these yesterday. So yeah, so I actually have quite a lot of hand knitted socks now, which is really lovely because I wear them every day. So every time I have a bath, put my pyjamas on in the evening. So I usually, if I'm working, actually even when I'm not working, I hardly ever go out at night, so I have a bath at around about 5 o'clock, and then just put my pyjamas on after that. And I always have hand knitted socks to wear as well, and they just feel really nice to wear. I try not to. I do sometimes go out, like if I'm putting the chickens to bed or just kind of popping around to the allotment to check everything's watered. I do sometimes wear my hand knitted socks in my wellies, which is probably not a good idea. I should probably change them actually, because I then get a bit of felting, I think. Anyway, but yeah, so I think these are quite jolly as well. Yeah, so I'm very happy with the blue and pink socks. This is going to be such a quick episode because I mean I am beginning to get back into knitting a bit more, and I've kind of got ideas again, and so yeah, I'm sure I will get back into the rhythm of it. So that's all my finished objects. I mean it's hardly anything at all. So because I'm still on small items, my first whip is another pair of everyday socks. It's such an easy pattern, and I mean I think I've mentioned before, I have I do know how to turn a heel, the traditional kind of turning a heel, and then you pick up stitches and decrease until you get the right number of stitches to continue. I have done that, but I really hate, I really hate breaking the yarn to do the heel. So turning the heel is quite good fun, but then when you've got to break it to pick up the stitches to go around the foot again, I'm not very, picking up stitches is probably my least favourite part of knitting. Oh, and sewing together, if I have to do too much sewing together, I don't like that either. I just like knitting, I like continual knitting, or continuous knitting. So yeah, so it's another pair of everyday socks. I'm using, so these are the colours, which I think are really lovely. Really love those colours. It's kind of green. I'm not sure you're getting, oh that's better for the green. Put my face, try and get rid of my face. So the green, I love the green, and the green is actually, so the pink is just from the other pair of socks that I did the contrast colour in. So it's the Drops Fable 4-ply sock yarn. This, however, is actually Jameson Smith. It's their 4-ply. I kind of got a ball of this and a yellow ball of Jameson Smith ages ago, and I used the yellow ball. I had a yellow ball and a green ball. I used the yellow ball to knit a Sophie Scarf, which I kind of ran out of wool on to finish the Sophie Scarf. And it's still in my Sophie Scarf tin, but I still haven't woven in the ends, and I'm kind of still undecided as to whether I'm going to unravel it. I don't think I'm going to unravel it. So I should just weave in the ends and wear it. It's a tad short, and there's something about it. I need to come to terms with that yellow Sophie Scarf. Anyway, so because it's only 25 grams, you can only really use it as a kind of, to do like a trim or a cuff, or a bit of colour work and something. Maybe I could, I wouldn't use all of this for the socks, so I could maybe just use it for, like, I don't know, mittens or something, to do kind of contrast colours. I don't know. But anyway, I thought I'd do the heel. No, am I going to do the heel? I might. I'll see how it looks when I get to that part. But I'll do the cuff and the toe in this. So this is not sock yarn, but I thought so it should be fine on the cuff. But if the toe wears out, I can just chop it off and knit another toe in any colour. But they're not kind of hard wearing socks, so I think it should be okay. So yes, I'm going to do that. I think it'll be really nice. I was hoping to kind of be able to get to the pink before I started recording today, but I didn't. But I think they'll be really great, great socks. And I probably need to stop knitting socks after that, because it's just, I really have got so many, but there's such a everyday socks and the Sophie Scarf. If I want to knit, but I don't want to get into anything too heavy or too involved or too long, mittens are quite good for that as well. It's a really nice, yeah. And because it's so easy as well, I can kind of knit without thinking too much, do other things. So yeah, so that's my work in progress. I do have other works in progress, actually. In fact, I meant to pull them out before I started recording. So my other work in progress, which I have shown before, but I have since done, sorry about the rustling, I have since done some more work on. It's the Rigmore Tea by Petite Knit, and it's my kind of modified version of it. So I've knitted this once before in a kind of rust colour. It's Drops Flora I'm knitting this in. It's such a gorgeous blue. Do you know, I haven't looked at this for ages. I actually thought I had knitted more than I have. I thought I'd knitted probably about that much more. I thought I was much further on anyway. And I'd got to the point, So yeah, I've actually been thinking about this quite a bit lately and thinking I might pick it up again. It's a really easy knit until you get to the top, and then it's it might be easier the second time round. The first time round, I think it's about 3 pages of instructions just for the very top. Yeah, anyway, it's really beautiful, and I don't know if you can see very well. It's got this kind of yarn over hole kind of effect. You might not be able to see very well. Let me see. So it's really beautiful, and I love my rust coloured version. It's really nice. And I amended the pattern to give it 3/4 length sleeves, which I really like. So yeah, I think I might pick this up as my next progression. Maybe I'll finish the socks first, who knows. But yeah, I'm quite keen to work on this again and to kind of progress it further and finish it. I actually had to, so I was knitting this in a work, I think it was training one day, and I must have actually been paying attention to the training because I'm going to have to go back, I think it's one or two rows. I thought I was at the top of the diamond motif pattern, whatever, and I wasn't. I was only on the first hole. It's done over kind of 3 rows, done over 5 rows, but anyway, so I thought I was at the end and I was actually just on the first of the little eyelets. So I'm going to have to unknit maybe 1 or 2 rows, but that's fine. I can do that as a separate thing. So yeah, so that's my Rigmore tee, which I do really love. It's beautiful and it's really lovely yarn. The other work in progress, which I'm not going to pull out, is still my Evendon cardigan, the yellow one. It's finished apart from the neckband and the button band, and then sewing the buttons on, and that's literally all I've got to do, and I haven't done it. I've been wearing all of my other Evendon cardigans, a lot actually, probably too much in fact, but they're just so nice and they feel really good. I've been wearing some of my Chickadee cardigans as well, and that's been really nice because I kind of, when I knitted them, I'd kind of just put them away in a tub, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, I've been wearing a lot more of my hand knitted cardigans. So my final work in progress is, so I watch Knitting Traditions. I first saw this pattern on Knitting Traditions, and I think it's were they Norwegian? Sorry, I don't remember if Knitting Traditions is, I think she's Norwegian or Finnish. Norwegian, I think. Anyway, it was a Norwegian, I think, pattern. I think they're called Doble Tofler slippers or double slippers. So that's the, I don't want to show the pattern. Actually, it's a free pattern, so it's fine to show. But you know, there are these slippers where you knit. You kind of knit. I've got quite far actually, just on the first one. This is it's going to be the inside. So it's knitted in, I'm knitting it in Drops, Alaska. So Knitting Traditions very kindly translated a free pattern, and I'm sorry, I actually can't remember who wrote the pattern. It's somebody quite, Instruction Lives Stangeland, but I think it's, oh, it's Sandnesgarn, Norway. Yeah, so it is Norwegian. Okay. So Knitting Traditions, Inga from Knitting Traditions very kindly did a whole episode because she'd shown them and I just loved them from the instant I saw them and really wanted to knit a pair myself. But the instructions were in Norwegian, and I actually tried, I got the Norwegian pattern because it's free online, and I Google translated it and I could pretty much figure it out. But actually the podcast that she did on the Doble Tofler slippers really helped because it just, there's a couple of little things I wasn't sure about. So you start at the top. So I'm knitting this in just leftover Drops Alaska. So you start at the top, and some people, so this is open as you can see. Some people do that, I can't remember what it's called. it's not called Betty's Cast On, it's called somebody's Cast On. Can't remember. Some woman's name cast on. And it's basically where you kind of wrap so that this is already together. So you don't have to sew it together at the end. But anyway, I couldn't be bothered figuring that out before I started. I've never done it before. So yeah, so you kind of knit one and then knit two slippers, and then you put it into the washing machine and felt it and shrink it, and then you bag one slipper inside the other, so it gives you this really sturdy felted hand knitted slipper. So that's why it's so big, obviously. So yeah, I did this just because I wasn't sure I'd have enough of the brown actually to knit two. And I think that's the fun of it. You can kind of play around with colours and leftover scraps and stuff. So this is just the first one, and I started knitting it before Christmas and then just stopped when I kind of stopped knitting. So I'd really like to finish this. I used to knit my own slippers. I used to knit cotton slippers for myself years ago. I think it was a Rowan pattern I had, and it was a kind of moss stitch, and I really liked them. They were really lovely. But these are obviously more of a kind of winter slipper. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to. I've never deliberately felted anything in the washing machine before. Obviously I have accidentally felted stuff in the washing machine, because I'm sure most knitters have. So I'm looking forward to kind of trying that as a new technique. So yeah, I think it'll be. I've got quite a lot of Drops Alaska left over from doing when I did the vests. I can't remember what it's called. Sugar Boo Bralette. When I did them, I had some Drops Alaska and Drops Nepal left over. And I looked on Ravelry, and a few people had knitted these in those yarns, so I could see that it did work. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to finishing that. It'll be a fun thing to have, I think. Actually, it looks like I've kind of stopped where I'm next to you to do a colour or something. Anyway, not much more to go, and it's a really quick knit because it's Aran weight wool on chunky needles. So yeah, so that's my last work in progress. And then the only other thing I really wanted to show was, I think I'm going to get this in under half an hour, which is great. So I got this, my friend Sarah, friend and work colleague Sarah, had got me a voucher for Dovecot in Edinburgh. Usually Sarah and we have been to a couple of the exhibitions there, or we kind of buy each other stuff from Dovecot because we've done a few things there. So she got me a voucher, and we were intending to go and see the Andy Warhol textiles exhibition. It's still on actually now. I'd really like to go. I was hoping to take some time at lunchtime during work one day to go down, but the days that I'd hoped to go, I was just too busy. So, but anyway, so I spent, because I had to spend, this was last year's birthday present, so I had to spend the voucher by mid-April. So I just went and found this, they've got a little shop, and they do jewellery and books and all kinds of things, but they also do, they've done this wool in the gang, and it's a really lovely colour. It's it looks really purple there, but it's actually more of a kind of red, it's like a deep red wine colour. And I thought my friend's daughter, when she comes to visit, she often wears leg warmers, so I thought I'd use this wool in a pair of leg warmers for myself in winter. I think the colour is great. I'll maybe pair it with, I don't know, navy, something like that. Yeah. So that is that, I think. Yeah, I just wanted to, like I say, I just wanted to kind of come in, check in, do a bit of an episode, and hopefully kind of get back on track for knitting. And so today is Sunday today. Yesterday was so my husband and I met 39 years ago in a really notorious bikers pub in Dumfries. So yesterday it was our 39th meeting anniversary, which just seems bonkers. Next year we're thinking maybe we should go back to, I think, so the pub we met in was called the Joker. And yeah, it's quite a wild, rough pub. And me and my friend had gone in there. We'd been out the night before, we were staying at her sister's house. We'd been out the night before, we just literally went into the Joker for a quick drink before we were planning to get the bus back out to Deb's sister's house. And there was a guy in there that Deb knew, so we sat at a table with him, and then my husband and his friend Pete came in, and they joined us because they knew the guy as well, and then that was that. We just, yeah, it was a good night. So yeah, but it'd be really lovely to go back to the Joker. They were really rude at the end of the night. They just swore at people to get out. They'd kind of be clearing up around you and putting chairs on tables and yelling at you to get out. And but it was quite good because there wasn't much of an alternative scene in Dumfries. So it's a really small town, and so it's kind of biker / gothic. Yeah, and it felt kind of quite inclusive and diverse, and allowing people to be who they were, which is what I liked about it. Anyway, so that was yesterday. Today I need to clean the chickens, which I always dread, and it's never as bad as I think it's going to be. But anyway, I need to clean out the chickens. And then our friends are coming over later. I'm just going to check the time. Yeah, 26. Just quickly what I've been reading. So we've been really busy lately because my husband's band has recorded their second album. I'll try and link it below if I can. They're called Lodestar, so their album's coming out this week, I think. They're kind of like a Black Sabbath-y type band. So yeah, and it's really good. I'm actually going to go and to England and watch their next 2 gigs with him, so that'll be really exciting. What I've been reading, I read all of Sally Rooney, which I really loved, all of her novels, and I've got her next one ordered. I love the kind of unconventional relationships in Sally Rooney's books. Yeah. Then I read The Lesser Bohemians by Emer McBride. It's a kind of, she's obviously influenced by James Joyce. It's kind of written in poetic prose. It's set in London in the early 90s, which is when I lived in London, and it's set where I lived. So Camden Town, Chalk Farm, Tufnell Park, all of the roads that they frequent, I recognise. So that was really lovely. It's about an actor who gets together with an older actor. I really liked it. It's the first time I've read Emer McBride. And at the minute I'm reading So You've Been Publicly Shamed by John Ronson. I've read it before a few years ago, and I'm really interested in my own writing and the concept of shame, and yeah. So anyway, I'm about to run out of time, so I will stop there, and thanks for watching. I hope it wasn't too quick. It's a kind of whistle-stop tour of socks, basically, and footwear. Yeah, hopefully next time will be a bit more to show, a bit more kind of different things to show and talk about. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and bye bye.